Welcome to today's Little Red Hen Baking Club. We are making sandwich bread in a bag today. So we've got flour, white sugar, oil, salt, a packet of yeast, some warm water, and a measuring cup, and of course our bag. So first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna add 1 cup of the flour to the bag. Now I'm using a 1/2 cup measuring cup because it's a little bit easier to get it out of the bowl when it's super full like this than using a big measuring cup. So we're gonna do 1 cup, which would be 2 1/2 cups. To the bag. And then we're going to add all of the sugar and all of the packet of yeast. Need some scissors for this one. Just gonna cut the yeast open and out into the bag. Okay. And then we're gonna add the warm water. There's 1 cup of warm water there. All right, now we're gonna let all the air out of the bag, seal it up so it's nice and sealed. And we're gonna just squish everything to combine it. Squish to combine. It's still gonna be really liquidy at this point. It's not gonna turn into a dough yet. Okay. So make sure everything is well combined. All right. Now you are going to set it aside. Just set your plastic bag aside and let it rest for about 10 minutes. Then we'll come back and do the rest. All right, it's been about 10 minutes for our sandwich bread, and you can see here that there's some air in the bag. It's puffed up a little bit, and it's nice and bubbly here in the corners. I don't know if I can pick it up so you can see it. Yeah, the bubbles are kind of going away, but it's nice and bubbly. There's some air in the bag, so we are ready for the next step. We are going to add 1 more cup of the flour. And remember, I'm using a 1/2 cup scoop, so we're gonna have to do 2. Okay. So that's our 1 more cup of flour, and we're going to add the oil and the salt. Then we're gonna seal the bag up again, get as much air out as you can, seal it up, and squish to combine. Now it's gonna start to feel a little bit more like a dough instead of a liquid. Okay. Get it well mixed in there. Then we are gonna open our bag again. We're gonna add the last cup of flour. Since there should just be one more cup of flour in here, I'm gonna just dump the bowl. All but a little bit, okay? Seal the bag, get the air out as much as you can, seal it up, and combine. Again, squish to combine. Okay. Once everything feels pretty well combined, you are going to sprinkle the last little bit of flour on your work surface. Spread it around, get a little bit on your hands too, okay? Then you're going to dump the bat or the dough here onto your work surface. My dough is still pretty floury, so that might mean I didn't mix it up in the bag quite enough, but that's okay, we'll get it here. Okay, then you're gonna take your dough and you're just gonna knead it, okay? Like this. Knead, you're just gonna kind of fold it in on itself and press it. Okay. You're gonna do this for about 5 to 10 minutes. If your hands get tired, you can have your grown-up help you, or your sibling, whoever you want. You're just gonna see how it's not very sticky, right? Just gonna knead it. It'll get a little bit stickier as you knead it. It won't be quite as dry. Everything will get nice and mixed in. It'll also start to feel a little bit firmer. Just kind of fold it in on itself and press it. This helps the yeast and the gluten in the bread activate. Get ready. Move some more flour here in the middle. All right. So when it's been 5 to about 10 minutes, you're gonna let that sit there for a second. Then you're gonna take a loaf pan. You have 2 mini loaf pans in your kit. I don't have any mini loaf pans, so I'm gonna use 1 regular size loaf pan. So you're gonna take your 2 mini loaf pans and you're gonna grease them either with cooking spray like what I used, or butter, or you could use oil, okay? Then you're gonna divide your dough in half, okay? Divide it about in half and put 1/2 in each mini loaf pan, okay? I'm gonna combine mine back together and put it all in one big loaf pan, okay? All right, probably gonna stretch it out a little bit so that it fits. All right, now you are going to set this aside. You're gonna cover it with a towel and set it aside and let it rise for about 30 minutes. While that's happening, you can preheat your oven to 375 degrees. All right, and we'll be back. All right, we're back for the last step of our sandwich bread. So our sandwich bread has been rising in the loaf pans for about 30 minutes. I have one big loaf pan, but you guys should have 2 mini loaf pans. It's gotten a little bit bigger. It's probably not gonna double again like it did earlier, but it is ready to go in the oven. Hopefully you've preheated to 375. And then you're just gonna take your loaf pans and you're gonna put them in the oven. I would have a grown-up help you with this. And you may want to put both loaf pans on one bigger baking sheet just to kind of keep them together and easier to work with, but you don't have to. Then you're gonna bake them for 25 to 30 minutes until the tops are golden brown. Then once the bread's cooled down, you're ready to enjoy it. Thanks for baking with us today.